Salve, Latin 2. Happy pre-Thanksgiving week. Sorry I am late again posting this assignment. I, you know, is what it is. But this week we are going to be talking about whether or not the Romans celebrated Thanksgiving. Spoiler alert, they did not, but they did celebrate something very similar called Cerealia, or in Greece, Themistophoria. So let's talk a little bit about that. And you guys are going to be making your very own Thanksgiving sacrifices. Very exciting, just like elementary school. So let's get going. So Thanksgiving is just the most recent in a long line of harvest festivals, typically occurring in the fall time or the springtime to celebrate the final harvest or the first harvest of the year. Obviously, this one would be celebrating the final harvest of the year for Thanksgiving, seeing as how it's, late November. Typically, in a Roman harvest festival, there would be a supplicatio to the god to honor the gods, and the supplicatio is basically an offering that you would make. When we talk about sacrifices in Rome, that didn't just mean they went and killed a cow. And don't get me wrong, they loved killing cows to honor the gods, but sometimes they would just pour out a bottle of wine or leave food or money or jewels or things like that. In Rome, we call this Cerealia to honor the goddess Ceres, the goddess of the harvest. Her Greek name is Demeter. But fun fact, as you could probably see in the name of the festival, Cerealia, if you take off the IA, you'll see the name Ceres is where we get the word for cereal. So if you ever need to make a connection between polytheistic gods and Cracker Jacks, Corn Pops, that's what I meant, then, there you go, wonder no more. So the first fruits of the season were dedicated to her. So this would be when it was celebrated in the springtime. The first ones were put on the altar, the first ones that were ripe for picking. Typically, they held theirs during October 4th because that was around the time of the last harvest for Rome. As opposed to, here in Georgia, the American South is famous for having 3 growing seasons and going through sometimes as late as November. So this is a picture of Ceres, or Demeter. You notice her, she's sitting here. She is holding some grain like a baby. See another basket of grain down here. She has her staff with the flame of the harvest. And you never really hear much about her because she's pretty low key. The most famous story that involves Ceres or Demeter is the story of Persephone and Hades. Hades, god of the underworld, falls in love with his niece, who is a little girl at the time. It's a very problematic story. He lures her with a flower, and she is then trapped in the underworld where he makes her his queen. This makes Ceres, or Demeter, really mad, and she basically just starts killing off all the crops on planet Earth, and the gods are like, all right, well, this is a big deal. Hey, Hades, you think about giving your child wife back? And he says, oh, but I love her. And they're like, we're sure, but everybody's starving. Can we come to some type of compromise? And they do. Their compromise is that for 6 months of the year, Persephone will live down in the underworld with Hades, and that is what we come to know as fall and winter. And for the other 6 months of the year, spring and summer, she comes back up and lives on planet Earth. And Demeter is happy in that time, and that's why things grow. So that is the story of Ceres and Demeter. So here's the Greek celebration. It's called Thesmophoria. It's to honor Demeter. They would party for 3 days and nights. On day 1, there would be a giant procession, a parade, if you will, and everybody's making sacrifices because they're, just to show how much they appreciate Demeter and they want her to make things grow. Day 2, kind of the opposite of what we do here, where we eat an absurd amount of food. On the second day of Thesmophoria, they would not eat anything at all. They would do some ritual fasting. They would act out the parts of the myth of Persephone and Hades and Demeter, which I'm sure got weird. And on day 3, they would make their offering to Demeter with a big sacrifice, and then they would party. So in America, on the other hand, fun fact, Thanksgiving was not actually official until 1941. Always the fourth Thursday in November. During the week of Thanksgiving, heart attacks are at an all-time high. This is true year over year. Wonder why? You may, from elementary school, remember the story of Ben Franklin wanting the national bird to not be an eagle because they are untrustworthy and deceitful, and they steal, eggs. Meanwhile, Ben Franklin thought that the turkey was good and honorable, even if it did look a little goofy. Apparently, those bad boys can run 20 miles an hour. That's a fun fact. So if you're being chased by a turkey, you have no chance. And the average American consumes 4,500 calories on Thanksgiving Day, which is about 2.5 times as much as you should eat. I remember when I worked at Subway in high school, I made one sandwich that I cannot say the name of, but it had 5,200 calories. So I'm happy to know that that sandwich that I ate every day for like 3 years was worse than Thanksgiving for me. That explains why I got heartburn at the age of 16. All right, so enough of that crap. We're going to be making some sacrifices to show how thankful we are to the goddess Ceres. You will be leaving an offering to the goddess. Oops. Let me get my face over here. There we go. All right. All right. So you'll see there's a template in this Google Classroom assignment, and on there you will be answering these prompts. On one part for your thankfulness, for your sacrifice statement, you are in Latin going to say, "I give blank to Ceres." So let's think about how we're going to answer that. Well, the way you say to give is dare, right? So what would be the first person singular of that? What ending would you see if I am the one doing it? So quereres, third declension. We're going to need to change that quereres to be dative. So since it's third declension, what is the dative singular ending in order to say to Ceres? And then whatever you're going to be sacrificing, you're going to need to find the Latin word for and put this word in the accusative case. It says write this down on a piece of scratch paper. Honestly, that's just for in class. If you want to write it out on scratch paper first, go for it. How will I know? I'm not there. All I'm seeing is what you guys put on your Google slide. So then you'll post a picture in the Google template of what you are sacrificing. Let me move my head again. There we go. And then you are going to write something for which you are thankful. And the way you'll do that, gratias blank ago. You're saying thanks to something. I give thanks to something. Ago, I give, gratias, thanks to something. So whatever you are thankful for is also going to have to be in the dative case. You're going to write down these two statements on the Google Slides presentation. These instructions down here for in-person class. If you want to run something by me before you post it, you're welcome to message me. That's totally fine. Or if you need help with this, please let me know. I'll hop on Google Meet and work with you. Okay. So here's some things that you can say that you are thankful for. We got friend, family, mother, father, dog, cat, sister, brother, food, sleep, time off, your grandparents, sports in general, in honor of Thanksgiving, football, pedophiles. Remember how to figure out the declension for these words when you are making them dative. Remember, I means its first declension. Us, e means second declension. And blah, is third declension. So just kind of keep that in mind. And e is second declension neuter. If there's other things you want to look up, you're welcome to. You can use Whitaker's words. You can use an online dictionary. Or if you want to know the best word for something, you can message me and I will tell you. Okay. And it says, copy your offering and your thanks on the back of the turkey. Decorate it so it's suitable for a goddess. I don't have a turkey for you, but let me show you what you guys are working on. So those are the instructions. Here's the template. It will be found in Google Classroom. It'll look something like this. Sacrificium gratias dandi, the sacrifice of Thanksgiving. So up here is where you'll put your sacrifice statement. You will say this in Latin: I give blank to Ceres. So what are you sacrificing here? You'll put a picture of your sacrifice on the sacrificial altar with Ceres on it. And then over here, you're going to put what you're thankful for. And your thankfulness statement goes down here. And this blank right here is what you are going to replace. You're going to replace that blank with the dative version of the noun you are thankful for. So you say, I am thankful for this. And that's basically it. I hope you have fun with this. It's supposed to be a little, writing practice, but also just something to, it's Thanksgiving. You guys have been working hard. I will put this in as a grade, so it should be a slam dunk. And if y'all need any help, holler at me. All right. Walete.